What is good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much. This is your boy Big L, and thank you so much for tuning in, checking out this episode. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, the like. Give me a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you've been watching a few of my videos and you're not subscribed, why not? What's up with that? What are you doing? What's going on? If you are a new subby, make sure that you go through the other materials. People have been asking me questions in the comments section. And there's a couple of times I get a new email, so maybe it's something I've already covered. So, just go through my catalog there, and if there's anything that I did not cover that you think that you want to hear my perspective on, then let me know. All right, so we're going to talk about finances, and finances within a marriage or in a cohabitating situation, right? And listen, I am no financial guru. I think that I did I think that I did some things right concerning, finances and stuff. So, but I am no financial guru. Economics is actually a soft science. So, finances and all that. Well, I don't know about finance, but certainly economics is a soft science, right? It goes about how people go. So, one of the first things I will say is that you have to, as a couple, make sure that you and your potential mate, are on the same page concerning, how you manage finances. So, what are your what is that your potential spouse's thought process about, how you save money, how much you spend, what are their financial habits, what are their credit scores, do they believe in credit, do they understand credit, how much financial debt are they in, how much school loan debt are they in, what's their credit card statements look like. I think you gotta find all that out before you move in with somebody. You gotta find all that out before you move in with somebody. You gotta find all that out before you move in with someone. And I'm gonna, just for brevity, I'm gonna, call it cohabitation or moving in. I'm gonna encompass marriage or whatever. So you got to find all that, you got to figure out, what they think about it, somebody actually wrote in the comment section, and I can't remember if she was trolling me or not, but she, said that she deliberately lives above her means because she likes this certain type of lifestyle. Listen, to me, you just go out and statements like that. I mean, she wasn't coming on to me, but, statements like that certainly make it so, make you very unattractive in the dating market, I would say, because a smart guy is not going to want to deal with it. I'm not taking on a bunch of loans. One of the big things that President Clinton did before, again, I'm no financial guru, I admit that, but one of the things that he did, right, he made a spouse culpable for debt. He made spouses culpable, responsible for debt of another spouse. So if you're out here running up medical bills, and that was a medical bill situation, right? But if you're out here running up medical bills and running up credit card debt, and then we go to buy a house, buy a car, and our interest rates are through the roof, or we can't get a fixed rate because we can only get a variable rate because of you, or now we got to get a co-signer. Listen, I'm not living like that. I'm not living like that, man. I told a story in another platform. I'll tell it again right here. When you become financially intertwined with someone. I remember one time, man, I was a young guy. I was a young officer. And there was a couple at my church that I had grown up with the girl, and she got married. And who she got entwined with was not the best dude, right? What she knew before, I don't know. But you gotta do your homework. So she gets with this dude. And they want me, as a young dude, to take them car shopping. They're like, oh, can you take us car shopping? I'm like, yeah, okay. So we go car shopping. So I bring them to the spot they wanted to go to, the dealership they wanted to go to. So they're looking around. I'm walking around doing my own thing, right? So then they're like, they find the car, they do the test drives, all that kind of stuff. So they find the car they really want to get. And next thing I know, they're like, oh, we found the car, this, that, and the other. We're about to go in and sign the paperwork. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have any water. Dang. It's like, dang. And so like 2-3 minutes later, maybe 5, it could have been 10, 15, I don't know what it was. They come out waving to me, hey, come here. So I'm like, oh, good, you guys are all set, man. He's like, yeah, everything is good, man, we're good to go. I'm like, oh, congratulations. He's like, yeah, we just need you to sign right here. Sign right there. What are you talking about? It's like, yeah, we just couldn't get this car, but we need you to sign. Like a co-signer? So I'm like, listen, I don't do that, man. I mean, at the time I was married, I was like, listen, my wife and I, we got this deal. We're not co-signing for anybody, man. I'm sorry, man. Like, I can't do it, man. I'm sorry, man. Because my philosophy was, if you don't pay your bills, you're not gonna pay me. You're not gonna pay me. Signing up for that. So that's another lesson. Do not co-sign for people. I don't co-sign for them. Don't even ask me. I don't even know if they still do that. Co-sign. I think I co-sign for my daughter. But, she's faithful and the right person, but she didn't have any credit, so I did it. I would make an exception for my kids, but I'm not brothers and cousins. So I think another, co-signing, don't do it. Know their financial status of the person and their financial spending habits, right? Every time they get paid in 2 weeks or once a month or every week, or however often people get paid, you need to, pay attention to their habits, right? Right. And this is why this whole, dating scene is important, because you get to see that, right? I mean, is there a big difference? We talk about this 50-50 thing and this $200 date thing and all this kind of stuff. The training growing up, and this is one bad thing I say that is bad about people who have not gone to church or who have not had some type of community-based education, I should say, whether it's church or whether it's community organization. I think New York City, where I'm fairly close to proximity-wise, they have a lot of cultural centers and stuff like that. Those types of places are invaluable because you get a collection of wisdom. So, the church that I went to, right, we would have, different Sunday school lessons and things. And we would get a lot of good information about just life and just finances and stuff, man. And I remember one time the pastor, he was the assistant pastor at the time. He used to say, when you take a woman on a date, or no, when you as a person, he would say, when you as a person go on a date, or go not on a date, but anywhere, going out to eat, whatever, you should always order like you're paying. You should always order like you are paying. Now that was deep to me at the time as a kid. I was 17, 18, 19 or whatever, but you start hearing stuff, right? Obtaining wisdom from older people. And this is what's lacking today. These, some people, in particular ladies, because they're talking about $200 dates, I got to take you here and show all this effort and stuff. I'm advocating for men stop doing that, because they're not ordering like they're paying. And we see the videos, ordering shrimp and lobster and this, that, and the other. They want to go to these places because they don't get to go to them at any other time in their life. They don't stay in these places. They don't want to go to Olive Garden because that's where they always go with their family and cousins and stuff. They want to go someplace special. They want to feel special for a night. You're an idiot if you do that. As a guy, you're an idiot. Stop doing that. So, you got to figure out what her financial habits are. Every time she goes out, every time she gets paid, and this goes both ways. I'm saying she, but guys can do the same thing too, right? At one time, I was really into tech and stuff, right? Trying to advance up, trying to, getting little stuff in my car and for my house, little gadgets and stuff. So I was always at Best Buy, right? I was always at Best Buy. So guys can do the same thing too, right? So they say that the only difference between men and boys is the price of the toys. The only difference between men and boys is the price of the toys, right? So guys, as a little guy, you got little trucks and stuff. Now as a big guy, you got trucks and ski-doos and all this, motorcycles and all this other stuff, right? And then of course, like the ladies like to go on vacation, and, makeup and hair, and so we all got stuff. So we all got stuff. So I'm not picking on any one person or any one gender. Picking on both of them. So you just gotta figure out, what's their spending habits like. Does money burn a hole in their pocket, so-called, or they're constantly in credit card debt and all this stuff. So you gotta figure all that out. So many of you already know, if you listened to me before, I was married twice. So and the biggest issue, I don't like talking. I want to word this correctly. I don't like bringing up old stuff, past mistakes, unless it's my mistake. But here, okay, let me put it like this: my mistake was not. Here's how I'll say it. You want to make sure, you want to keep your finances separate. I would advocate, particularly if you're both working, keeping your finances separate. I don't agree with your money's my money and your money is our money. As the man, the man's money is our money, but your money is your money. I don't agree with that, and I would not entertain any person who said anything like that to me, as in I gotta pay all the bills, but I get to spend money on what I want. That shows me a lack of maturity, a lack of understanding about how we're supposed to live and function as a couple. And all that. So I'm going to lump in the finances with a question that I've been asked. Maybe I'll make this a really long video here. Another question I was asked about living together apart, right? I guess living apart together or something like that. LAT, something like that. LAT, I got some screenshots. A couple of people asked me about that, my thoughts about that. I think if that works for you, that's fine. That's personally not what I would want. I think, I mean, how much space do you really need? Just buy I would say just buy a bigger house and have wings in a house. I don't know. I was watching a video today about, safety and security. I think it's on Auntie Anita's from Better Love Movement. I think it's on her video, something she put out. Emotional safety, right? So and that living apart together plays into the emotional safety that I'm agreeing that ladies, emotional safety by physical safety, emotional safety by physical safety. In other words, you feel physically safe within your house because you have your own firearm, because you have your own dog. So you don't really need a man. You can call 911, right? So there's no thought process of danger. So if you're going to do that, then I don't see the need of just being married. Why exchange? I don't understand exchanging rings and all that. And so I don't understand the point in doing any of that. I don't get it. But listen, you do what works for you. So that's my little spiel about that. So don't let anybody talk you out of it. I would need to be talked into it, particularly if we're going to be married, right? So I don't see the point in it, because marriage means to me cohabitation, cooperation, right? And communication and all these other C's that are out there, right? So, and if a cohabitation is a part of that, then what are we doing and why are we doing this? Otherwise, just being a committed, relationship where we just see each other when we see each other, right? Okay, that's my thoughts about it. I can't make that any longer. Do it best for you, but tell me a convincing reason to do it. And if the convincing reason is about finances and stuff, then if you're that concerned about somebody else intertwining into your finances and costing you money, then I actually understand that. I've seen people whose spouses ruined their credit, caused them really, really bad financial damage that it took them years to get out of. And so, listen, I get it, man. This is the dangers and the problems of living in a capitalistic society. This is the dangers and problems of living in a capitalistic society, that is so hyper concerned about money. It's what we're concerned about. It's the way that we repay people. And, if you suffer damages, right, we don't, when you accidentally kill my dog, the courts don't say, okay, you get to kill his cat. I mean, that's not the way that we do things. You have to financially reimburse them somehow. That's our method. And it goes in the court system. So I've talked about, as well. So you do what's best for you. So back to the finances. So I don't believe in your money. My money is our money, and your money is your money. You get just. I don't believe in that. So either we're in this together or we're not. So I think that couples should have. If you're both working, I think you should. I don't have a problem with separate bank accounts. So in my relationship, it was you have your bank account, I have my bank account, and we have a joint bank account. I didn't know what was in her joint. I didn't know what was in her bank account. She didn't know what was in mine, and that's because we had learned a lesson, both of us, from our previous marriages. Here's what I will say. We had both learned a lesson from our previous marriages in which, unfortunately, the other person was not as responsible as we were. That's the best way I can word that. So in order to stop any type of future nonsense, we both agreed and said, and we both on our second marriage, we're like, listen, this is crazy. So here's how we're going to do it. And we both like, this is the great idea. Let's just do it. And there was no fighting. Here's the bills that we're going to come together and pay. I'm going to take care of this. You take care of that. And then the other stuff we just went on vacation with and all this kind of stuff. So that was the way that we kind of lived and moved and operated and all that. So that's finances. So know what your neighbors know what your potential spouse's history is, their credit, their spending habits, and don't try to talk them out of it. Don't try to be their mommy. Don't try to be their daddy. Don't try to be their disciplinarian. I'm not about this idea about fixing people. This comes into the idea of leadership as well. Like you can't lead people who don't want to be led. And if somebody isn't coming to an arrangement, to an agreement about what you're going to do, particularly to me as a man, if you're not getting on the program and here's what I got to do, and I know this is going to be hard for me for going forward. It's going to be hard because more than likely I'm going to meet a woman in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe 50s, whatever, and she's going to have her own way, and I'm going to say this is how this is going to go down. And then either she's going to be with it or not. And to the point about ladies in a pejorative way or in a negative way saying, oh, you guys just want to be controlling. You just want a young woman who you can control and manipulate. I have a problem with the sentiment of control and manipulation, but I certainly want somebody who's going to be on my program because you want a leader, protector, provider. But leaders lead, protectors protect, and providers provide. So you got this. This is the way this. I mean, this is what it is. This is what it is. So. If you don't need that, then you don't need a husband. To me, if you don't need leadership, protection, and provision, then you don't need a husband. Now, do you want one? Do you just want a companion? I made it clear. I'm nobody's support animal. I'm not an emotional support dog. So that's what marriage means to me. That's what marriage means to me. So if don't mean that to somebody else, then I don't have any smoke for that. You live the best life that you can, and you live the way that you want. But that's what marriage means to me. So, finances, leadership. What else? What else would I say about finances? Right? You definitely got to marry somebody who's on the same level of thinking as you as far as finances, because they can ruin your credit. And, they have you signing up for, co-signing for each other's cars and co-signing, putting their name on your credit card and all that kind of stuff, man. You got, man, it can get really, really wild out here. It can get really, really wild out here when it comes to how to navigate the whole marriage scene. So. And if you want to protect yourself, and this is part of the issues, but unfortunately, people, you learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes, and the mistakes that people made and make. I gotta pause this. All right, I gotta finish this off here. So you really gotta be on that same page there, and really just be on that. So gotta have these conversations, look into their history, look into their because the past history will influence their future behavior. So, and have the conversations about money. It's a lot of these conversations about sex, about how often you should have sex, how you're going to raise children, how are your financial habits, what are your goals, and your sexual history, and all this right there. They're not easy conversations, but you got to have them. So have those conversations. And and then also with the finances stuff, you got to observe people, man. This whole idea about getting married within 6 months, man, you gotta observe people, because these contracts are for life. And if you're not understanding that, then you're setting yourself up for a serious failure. So I hope I said something. Those are my thoughts about finances. What to look for, and all that. And as far as the living apart together, listen, just do what you want. My opinion. I don't see the point in it. That's my own personal opinion. I don't see the point in it. But if it works for you, and listen, so some people have approached me because of my stance on marriage. Would I ever consider doing that? But why exchange the rings then? I guess that's the point. And I've said before, I would like to have someone call my wife. I don't want the state involved. You've all heard me talk about all this, but I just don't understand. I don't understand that aspect of it. But I could be missing something. So give me some good, solid reasons as to why this makes sense. Now, I have kids. So as far as you want an emergency contact, you can still make anybody your emergency contact and give people permission. I have kids that I want my stuff to go to, so I would assume I would have to fill out more special paperwork as far as a trust or things like that to make sure that my kids get it, and also my wife. But I'm going to get married again. I would want her to definitely have something. So I'll give probably something to my kids and get a life insurance policy for my wife, and I would expect her to do the same thing for me. And for her kids, right? Make sure your kids get taken care of, your kids and your grandkids, whatever. And then, if you kick off before me, I should have a policy here, so everything gets taken care of. So, but those are my thoughts and my opinions. So, but we live in a changing date and changing time, and do what's best for you. So while I'm on it, if anybody feels free, tell me the advantages of getting married. Tell me the advantages of doing this. And I'm not being smart, but in today's time, given the high risk of divorce, the high risk of pay, and losing half your income and this, that, and the other, tell me the reason it's worth doing. And I'm not being funny about that. All right, so I made this long enough. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Am I right? Am I wrong? What's up with that? Much love and peace.